What's going on, everybody? This is the Ceremonial Witch, bitch. And I'm back doing another episode. Panic of the Disco right there. Say Amen Saturday night, first song, which is one of the songs I play every Saturday multiple times to my man Saturn up there, down here, wherever you think Saturn is, if you believe it's an energy inside you or above you. Yes, you're right, both of you, all of you. As above, so below. Saturn is the governing ruler of our three-dimensional realm, in my opinion. You can put a deity there instead as Kronos, Zeus's father, which would be Jupiter, would be Zeus. And before I get any deeper, if you ever take a look at the sigil, the symbol for Jupiter, it looks like a 4. It's kind of like a 2 and a 4 almost. There's like a 2, which kind of makes a 4, a curve. Now, you take that 4 there, the bottom of the 4, if you put a line across that, or just flip it upside down, it's basically Saturn sigil, without the Saturn sigil kind of looks like an H, or a T and an H, in my opinion. But, and this is something I just noticed last night, to be honest. Saturn is expansive. Jupiter is limitations. That's opposite. Jupiter is expansion and Saturn is limitation. Jupiter is growth, Saturn is restrictions. Polar opposites, once again. Now the other polar opposite would be the Sun and Saturn, and there's various others. There's polarities, and even within the single planets there's polarities to everything. Just something I wanted to point out, and you could probably take that a little further and more corresponds with that. I know I have. I've written pages just about it, and it's pretty cool. And this is the kind of stuff that'll help you if you're trying to be an astrologer or learn astrology and shit like that. Nothing is irrelevant, because your astrology chart, everything is going, you can literally just look at the astrology chart and look at all the houses and the signs that the planets govern, and from there, take your 11th house, which is governed by Saturn. Well, it's one of the ones he is controller of, kind of thing. And I have Jupiter in that one. You know what I mean? How is Jupiter and Saturn going to play out together? Is one way to look at these things. Shit like that. You can make up anything and everything. You can go deep. Just dive in and do it if that's what you want to do. Because astrology is huge, and you're only going to learn. So you can read as many books as you want, and this is something I learned from Mind and Magic. You need to read some books about astrology to get those starting correspondences, because you need something to build on. You need something initially to expand on. But if you don't have anything there, you need the books to get that initial knowledge. Once you get that initial knowledge, go on astroseek.com or astrology.com or astro.com, whichever one you want, that gives you free birth charts, unless you want to pay. And they're going to give you a birth chart, and they're going to give you a bunch of information and what it means and all that, and that'll help out too. But you can look up anybody's birth chart, and you look up somebody. Doesn't matter, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, fucking Corey LeBlanc, whoever, mine's on there. And you'll get it. It's better if it's someone famous and or someone at home that I done my daughters, and even my baby, who's only 2, who hasn't had much life for me to be able to see her chart and how it corresponds. But I still see so much in there, like psychological and attitude-wise, and how she acts. It's pretty fucking amazing. So, so first song was Say Amen Saturday night. I'm pretty sure I would bet everything and anything going by the sigil on Panic at the Disco's new CD, and what he sings about. Because the second song, High Hopes, I mean, just the lyrics alone, manifest destiny. Come on, he's into some occult new age shit, and that's pretty clear to see. Look at one of his first videos he ever came out with. There, I write sins and tragedies, or something like that. Maybe that was the CD, not the song. But anyways, you'll recognize it there. I was gonna sing it, but fuck, I'm not a good singer. Wow, I'm decent. Anyways, but he's definitely in the occult knowledge. And if you're trying to take back your mind and only put in what you want to hear, and you're worried about your music, I'm not saying listen to Panic at the Disco, but certain songs like that are in line with what you want, like the High Hope song. If you're in a bad mood and you're worried that it's going to affect what you're trying to manifest, well, put on something like that, where he literally talks about, I never had a dime, but I always had a vision. Come on, man. That's huge. He's telling you the secrets right there, you know. Mama said, rewrite your history, you know. Just do it. Get in there and just fucking do it. Fuck what anybody thinks. Don't tell anybody. And then if you get huge and there's some legit people who aren't just jealous and want to steal from you, and you don't tell them exactly what you're doing, but if there are some trustworthy people that you can tell and you think they're ready for it, well, don't just say, hey, life is not real, it's all a dream inside the all mind. They're going to think you're fucking whacked out. But use some hypnosis or some occult, maybe not occult, but we talk about certain things, how what you say over and over again can get into your subconscious mind, and try to use different speech than just scaring people off. But that's not what I want to talk about, although that's pretty much what I'm going to talk about. I don't really have something to talk about in mind, but I wanted to do a video, an episode today about something. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to split this up, if I'm going to keep this ceremonial witchcraft going as just the magic, how to do certain rituals, all on my manifestations, how I did my manifestations, and all that. So that's why I'm kind of doing this episode, to see and maybe throw out some more subconscious shit and ideas, and because all I can offer people is experience. If you watch that Grant Morrison thing, then you're going to recognize what I'm about to say. But all I can offer you guys is my experience, that I've done this shit and it works, and you can do it too. Now, is what works for me exactly what's going to work for you? Probably not. But there are certain things that you got to do. Like I said about the astrology, you need that first book that gives you those base correspondence, and from there you're going to grow and get your own correspondences for what certain things mean when they're in certain places, and through repetition and trial and error and fucking up, you're going to learn the right way and what works for you. But I wanted to give you those initial correspondences, the initial rituals, and that's why that last episode wasn't really an episode that I put out. I put about 20 minutes of talking, 18 minutes of talking, and then 20 minutes of procedure and how to do the exercises that I keep referring to, so that if anybody couldn't get the book or didn't know, well, now they have it. They can download it, they can listen to it over and over again as they do it in their head or whatever. And I truly advocate that. Like I told you with the self-hypnosis thing and the affirmation thing, I'm a big fan of recording things down. As a child, when my mom was making me learn my timetable, she made me do it every single night. We would do all the 2s, the next night do all the 3s, the next night do all the 4s. We did that in order for a couple months straight, all the way up to 12, and I knew them by heart before anybody else. In pre-K and kindergarten, I got up to 100, the first one in the class. I got up to 1,000, the first one in the class. Pre-K, the 100,000 in kindergarten. But repetition, memory. My memory is fucking excellent for remembering things to that effect. My muscle memory, I want to say, maybe is the one I'm referring to, is very good. My short-term memory, like I said, I used to be a pretty hard drug user, and a felony convict, a felon, whatever you want to call it, criminal. So I've burnt a lot of brain cells, a lot of drugs, a lot of drinking, a lot of partying, a lot of sex, a lot of girls, a lot of money, a lot of snorting shit. I never injected shit, and I never smoked crack and really hard things like that, but I snorted a lot of coke. And I don't wish anybody to get into that stuff, but if you are into that stuff and having trouble getting out, well, this is what you need to do. You need to reprogram your subconscious mind. And if you do have a crack addiction and you can't afford to program your subconscious mind, well, if you don't have a phone or a recorder or anything that can record, then I'm not really sure how you're listening to this right now. But obviously you do have access to something, and use that. And if not, well, if you have to steal something, I don't recommend it, but don't take somebody's something. Take it from a business and try not to get caught. Anyways, I'm not saying it's what you should do, because I don't believe in that, and I got in trouble for stealing too as a kid. But you get some kind of recording device and you record down what you want to put in your head. Doesn't matter how you do it, what you do it. There are things, like I said, in hypnosis that work. But even in hypnosis, there's many different ways to write scripts. There are many different triggers to get people into trances and, get people into trances. And there's certain things that work on certain people. There's something I can do for my wife, but I can't do for my daughter. Something that works on my daughter, I can't do for my wife. Something that works on both my boys, but then there's one thing that'll work on Owen that doesn't work on Austin, so on and so forth. Myself, I programmed my own trigger into myself when I was learning about hypnosis, and it took the affirmation length of time to get it in there, but it still got in there. And this is kind of on the basis of, I think about hypnosis and magic and subconscious mind as a genie, okay? And, in Aladdin or any other genie movies, they normally say, in Aladdin, they say, I can't bring anybody back from the dead. This is Robin Williams initially, and now Will Smith. Can't bring anybody back from the dead, can't make anybody fall in love, and and you can't wish for more wishes. So in real life, well, we know there's love spells, but they're not going to work if it's not meant to be either. So that's kind of real. Can't bring anybody back to the dead, and we know there's a limitation on that. But can you wish for more wishes? Abso-fucking-lutely. Now, you can't actually go about it by saying, hey, subconscious, I wish for more wishes. It's going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't even make a sigil for that. I don't know. But if you want to treat your subconscious mind like that all-powerful genie that you rubbed out of a lamp, then that's great. That genie is now like a deity. Ooh, kind of cool, eh? That genie is your deity, okay? And that deity, whoever you pick, it doesn't even have to be like this. You can picture it being a blue Robin Williams if you want, or a blue Will Smith if you want. And sub-program it to do that. But anyways, this is how I reprogram my subconscious mind to wish for more wishes. This is kind of on the same premise, but you can wish for money. You can ask for $10,000 if you want, and you'll get it. But if you haven't self-transformed yourself, like I said, or depolarized, or whatever, or you have a wife like me who's doesn't believe in this stuff, or goes along with it and is always worrying about money, and you get the 10 grand while she's going to pay off the debts with a little bit of it and go blow the rest of it, and then worry about how she just fucking blew out the 10 grand. Well, you need to ask for something that's going to continue to bring you more money. I think I talked about this last time or the time before that. So that's kind of what we're doing here with the self-hypnosis thing. We are programming our mind to make our mind be able to get the magic in there faster and better. And that's what putting a trigger in does. That's what affirmations do. That's how I approach my way of doing it, and how I continue to approach my way of doing it. So if I want to program something into my mind, I do a magical ritual for it. I write down what I want, as it is written, so shall it be done, kind of thing. I say it out loud, and I record it, and I go to bed to it, or I memorize it that way. And I gave you guys the middle pillar right out of the book. Well, not right out of the book, but almost right out of the book, I guess. I gave you the lesser banishing of the pentagram. I think I gave you the adorations, which the adorations are huge to put you in sync with nature, and I'll get into that a little bit later. And maybe a few other things. I don't really remember what I put on there. So like I said, short term's fried. But it's all right because I had a good time frying it, and no regrets. Taught me some shit. But yeah, so what I did when I was starting out, and I had to memorize those, I wrote it down, I put it on a book, and I brought it into my temple with me. And that worked, but it kind of sucked having to depend on that book. And as long as I had that book there, I depended on it. I took the book away, and I had to remember it. And the first time I fucked up. And I just did it to the best of my ability. And, I thought I really fucked up pretty large. But it turned out, when I went upstairs and I read the book, I only fucked up a few things and missed like one little line. That's, it's debatable if that line was even important or not. But the point is, I knew more than I thought. And guess what? The next time I went down there, because those fucking lines the one I missed and the two I fucked up, I didn't fuck them up because I remembered what I fucked up. It was stuck in my mind. It made an impression, and there it stayed in there, which is kind of why you learn from your mistakes. You don't learn from your victories. I mean, you do learn from your victories, but that can also bring ego and cockiness and all this. And pride comes before the fall, and you don't want to go down that road. But point is, put that lesser banishing on. Maybe put it in your own words if you can. But if you want to leave Siri that I put on there and learn that shit by heart, go to bed with it, because it's going to come in handy. Talking about the adorations, let's get into that for a second there. Yeah, I have more to add on that asking for more wishes, and I know I didn't really hit on that too much, but I'll get into that a little deeper maybe later if I have time. But the adorations, or to put you in sync with nature, with the sun, which in turn puts you in sync with the moon, kind of thing. And witchcraft is kind of big on this, and so is ceremonial magic. That was a ceremonial magic book that I gave you, and it's important because when you're in sync with nature, now this has come from Birch, when you're in sync with the goddess nature, you are easier to affect nature, because what are we doing? Well, our subconscious mind, we're using it to affect our surroundings, our nature. We want to affect the other people if we're trying to get a love spell to work, or magic to work, or money to come, through magic, or to receive or get something, or trying to change your subconscious mind to be able to better deal with this shit. Because if you program your subconscious mind that you are talented at everything you do and you make money easily every day from different places, well, then those things are going to come to you. It's going to take a while to get that in there, but it can come to you. And like I said, I'll give you my specific first script, and you'll see the areas that I won't touch it up or nothing. I'll give you it raw, how I did it and got it in my mind and all that. But I don't want to give that just yet. We want to affect nature. We want the universal energies, minds, the spirits around us to give us the stuff we want. So we have to be more like nature. We can't stay being in this mundane world and being bossy and bitchy and commanding nature and littering on the ground and offending the fairies and all the other nature spirits. Can't be just offending all the nature spirits and not giving offerings to deity and stuff like that and just asking for stuff. And they're gonna be like, well, what have you ever done for me? If you don't do any favors for your wife, well, why would your wife do you any favors? Your kids, you demand respect from them, but if they don't respect you, they want to do something for you. You normally have to, depending on the age of the kid, you might be able to, hey, you want to be like mommy, do the dishes. If they're young enough, they might do it. But if they're an old enough person, a teenager, they're going to want money to do that. And, truth be told, we're all like that. You work a job to make money, not for your satisfaction. But if you do something just for your satisfaction that you enjoy, the money's going to come. But that's another video for another time. But anyways, so we sync ourselves up with nature to affect nature, to effectively get what we want. And this is important because I'm going to get into a little bit of personal stuff about me. And I hope my wife doesn't listen to this and hear what I'm about to say, because she might not like it or find it offensive. But fuck it. I want to teach, and best way to teach is to make yourself vulnerable and put your shit out there. And if people respond, they respond. If people don't like it, well, energy's energy. If they send me some hate or some that's not nice or right, well, fuck them. I'll just use your energy to make more money. And I'll teach you how to do that, but that's not mine. That's something from Birch I learned. But anyways, before I get into this personal story about nature, David D-A-V-I-D is the first name, David, and D-E-I-D-A. It's a book, The Way of the Superior Man, A Man's Guide to Mastering the Challenges of Women, Work, and Sexual Desire. Now, I got this book last night, free PDF. Just Google it. You'll get it, right? PDF, though, after the title. And you'll find it. Now, I got two versions of it. I'm reading the one that's like 197 pages, but there was one that was only 119 pages, and they both look legit, so I don't know what's what, but definitely a fascinating read, definitely great. I recommend it, and not just for men. I recommend this for women because it's all about polarity of your nature. Now, you can be a man and have more of a negative vibe, negative flow energy, and you can be a woman, which is technically the negative, and have more of a positive, a man vibe, and you could be neutral, balanced vibe. And to me, now he doesn't go in astrology or magic and all that, or maybe he does. I'm only through a little bit of the book, and this was recommended from R.S.D. Taylor, and R.S.D. Taylor is recommended by Mind and Magic, which I haven't really watched a lot of the RSD videos. I've watched a few that he recommended in specific videos, and you know what, RSD Taylor is a very talented pickup artist who knows his shit, who can teach you about how to be an alpha male, not a beta male. But he recommended this book for every man, and I would go as far as saying that women should read it too, because it can be just about a woman. Because I'm going to be honest here, I'm a man, but in my chart I got a lot of air, I got a lot of earth, and I got a lot of water signs, and I got only few air and few fires. And air and fire are the masculines, and water and earth are the feminines. So I'm a man who loves women, but I think I'm better with the negative flow than the positive flow, which is why polarity is bringing me more in the middle. why I strive to do this. But this book is essential, I think, to men and women. It gives very good advice that I'm probably going to get into in other videos as I get the correspondence to how it corresponds with magic and this and that. But anyways, I was reading this last night, and I know my wife wanted to fuck, and that's okay because I'm in sync with nature. Kind of in the wintertime, I'm very lazy. This is something like I said, Birch talks about. I get very lazy in the wintertime. And I love winter. I like going out and skating and playing in the snow with the kids and all that. But I'm more sluggish and more tired and, kind of like a bear. I want to hibernate. And in springtime, which it is here until about the 21st, I think it turns into summer. But I'm fucking horny. I'm like the fucking god chasing the goddess out there trying to fuck. I mean, me and my baby were watching. She was in the window freaking out. I'm like, what are you looking at? And it was two squirrels. The guy was chasing the girl. He was trying to fuck her. And the girl's running away from the guy squirrel. But really, she wants him to chase her. I mean, if she didn't want to run from him, she would stop and fight his fucking ass and say, stop the fucking shit right now. But she's running away because she wants to chase. It's kind of like their foreplay. And, I don't know what happened, but I laughed and I just walked away because I know my baby just thinks they're playing and whatever. But last night, I'm reading the book. I had a couple drinks. I don't drink often, but I had a couple drinks. And we go upstairs and I'll light a candle. I take the tarot card out of the lovers, put on the thing. I had my Venus candle still going because it was Venus Day yesterday. And I know Saturn is exalted in Libra, which is ruled by Venus. So to me, you can say the gods have couples like Saturn and Venus or Mars and Venus. Going by the days of the week and stuff, I would say Saturn and Venus are more likely to be a couple, and the sun and the moon are most likely to be a couple, shit like that. But they probably all fuck with each other. There's probably no rules, and truth be told, we probably can't comprehend anything that they do because how could we? They're so much bigger than we are. But anyways, so I set the mood by doing. And anyways, so when she starts doing the foreplay, because truth be told, I give her hers a lot more than I get mine. I mean, I almost always get mine every time we go. But I mean, as in oral pleasure, I do her way more than she does me. And I've made some very not so subtle hints all day that, well, yeah, you want to do it tonight, that's great, but it's your turn to, blow on me a little bit instead of me licking on you. And I knew she was down, so as she's kissing me and going that way, I fucking, in my head, I stand up on the bed and I make a fucking circle come out of my fucking finger around the bed. And I do the Kabbalistic cross. And this is all while she's going down on me. And I'm enjoying it. Do the Kabbalistic cross. I do my lesser banishing of the pentagram. I do my middle pillar. And then I ask Saturn, Venus, and any other gods or deities as offering / sacrifice. They want to come and join and have fun with us. Come, no pun intended there. But, if Venus wants to play my wife or enjoy or have the essence of, and Saturn wants to have my essence, and Kneeling Venus wants to do the physical deed through us, with us, and make what we're about to do a holy, sacred act, which in paganism, witchcraft, sex is sacred, and, is a way to offer something to your deity. And that's what I did. And all I asked was that, because I hadn't had sex. I had sex the day before. But, sometimes, not normally when I drink, but sometimes I can get too excited and things pop off before they're supposed to pop off. So I asked that it didn't happen. I asked that. The only thing, you want to partake, help me, pleasure my wife in a great, great way. And, then I finished. I did the banishing again and the Kabbalistic cross, thanked the watchers. And then I came out. I didn't close the circle because I didn't want anybody else but who I invited to come in. I left the circle open. Made sure before I went downstairs, get her a glass of water when we were done, that I did close the circle, because don't ever get out of your circle when it's still open and shit like that, and always make a circle before doing this shit, because you don't want to open that can of worms. But anyways, and it was great. It was absolutely great. I know I can't speak for her, but when she starts looking like she's passing out and eyes rolling back of her head and she's got goosebumps everywhere and her legs are still vibrating when she's done and all that, I know I did good. And I did end up going down there and licking again, like I said I wouldn't, but she did a hell of a job for me, and that's one of the ways I slow my process down, when I feel, oh shit, it's coming close. Well, I don't want to fuck up her momentum by just stopping, so I get down there and lick and plunge a few in there, and I fucking give her hard like that, and then I go back in whenever she's not quite there, and then do the rest my way, and then boom, same time. But anyways, this morning she's walking around and like, oh baby, you hurt me, and I'm not that big. I'm not gonna say I'm huge. I'm an average sized guy, you know. I'm slightly. I mean, if the average penis is 5 inches, well then I'm above average, but not by a lot, you know. I'm at the 6 and a little bit mark. So for me to actually rip her, that's never happened before, and I've been fucking her for we've been together almost 10 years now, and I've never ripped her. And I ripped her last night. She said she actually had a little bit of blood coming out and all that, and she just finished her period last week, so it ain't that. She said she's got a cut, she felt it and all that, and I've never done that. So I don't want to say that's because I asked the gods to, through me, fuck my wife with me kind of thing and have a big time of fun, but she is in such a good mood today. I mean, sex always makes her happy, but this is like above and beyond, like loving and doing stuff. And she knows there's certain things I don't like to do, but she always asks me anyways. And you know, when I say no, it's kind of like a setup, but she's not even asking today. She's just doing the things that I don't even like to do myself, that I have to do myself, and she's trying to do it herself. It's amazing, it's beautiful, and I love it. And it's like, man, when she's been crabby for the last few months, because in the wintertime she gets crabbier and I get lazier, and maybe that's probably connected. But you know, fuck, I just gotta nail her good. Ask the gods to help, and you know, they get something, I get the offering, the bonus points for asking, and everything works out. It's beautiful. So just wanted to throw that out there, that if you're wondering why the 4 adorations are there, or wondering what that was for, well, that's to put you in sync. And if you can kind of tell if you're in sync, when the moon waxes and wanes, you may have more energy, you may have less energy. Whenever it's going to full, you should have more. When it's going to less, you should have less. Winter, summer, I think all summer you should be full of energy, still kind of hot and horny. Spring you should be really horny. Fall you should be dying down, but still enjoying it. Fall's probably one of my favorite times of the year. I don't know if it's because the veil's closer, Halloween and all that, but maybe. But yeah, so that's I want to talk about. That's a good little sacrifice you can do, and it helps. You know, I felt everything she was doing while I was doing my ritual in my head, and I was present there, but I was picturing as if my higher self, my subconscious mind, was the one in the astral, and I was here still on the mundane kind of thing. And because my mind was doing something, I wasn't focused on, because she's good at doing that. I mean, she can make it pop off just by doing that, and that's one of the reasons why I was worried about popping off early. And always a better chance of me not going early if she doesn't start that way. And that's probably why she doesn't do that way often, because she wants to get hers. So that's a good way to not pop off early for you guys. But check out that book too. That's going to help out women, men. It's going to help out with your children. It's going to help out with everything. I mean, I'm only fucking 3 or 4 chapters into it. 3, I think. And I'm being blown away. This is like a 1997 book. And I mean, it's amazing. It gets into how men in the 60s started growing their hair long, wearing colored t-shirts that were, you know, talking about the hippie age and all that. And then men kind of got too into their feminine sides or whatever, and then women got more masculine and shit like that. And it's interesting how your kids can tell. You can be sitting there beside them, spending time in quotations, but looking at your phone. They would rather an hour of your time completely focused on them than 8 hours of your attention split off in other directions. And the same with your wife. I mean, my wife, I've been fighting a lot lately because I'm continuously learning and studying here in the kitchen on my phone, and I don't want to go in the living room and just watch TV behind her. And she doesn't like when I ask her questions about movies and shit like that. And it's like, okay, you want me here listening to something that I know is just going to hurt my head, and yet if I put my headphones on, you're going to get mad because I'm not present, but yet we're just going to sit there and watch a movie, and I don't, no, that's not right. You can't get mad at me for that. But I didn't understand, and the book said, whenever you have a wife and she feels that she's number 2 and you're on your purpose, you're going to become more attractive. And it's going to cause issues at first because she's going to be constantly trying to get your attention. It's true. So for all you single guys out there, if you're focusing on a girl too intently, trying to get that girl, well, they're not going to blow by you, you know? Same thing whenever you latch on too tight and you're needy. A girl doesn't want that. Like I said, she wants to be chased, but she doesn't want to be held down. She doesn't want to be pinned down. Well, I mean, yeah, if you're fucking, but if you're not fucking, don't pin her down. Don't hold her down. Don't hold it too tight. So yeah, that's a little bit of rant today. I think there's some stuff in there that you could probably use. Okay, this last thing, I might have to do another video about this. But sex. Now I'm talking about sex and having sex and all this. And sex is your Mars energy, and your Mars energy is your passion. This is the same for males and females. Venus is love, Mars is passion, lust, and creativity. So get rid of your Mars energy if you're fucking too much or masturbating too much. You're getting rid of that creativity, you're getting rid of that energy. You gotta find a balance in that as well, because if you don't get rid of that energy, you're pent up, you're keeping it in, and you need to release every once in a while. That's why a lot of men, us men, let's face it, we think about sex more than anything. Well, after 40 in most cases, but I'm fucking early 30s and I can feel it happening to me now. You start to want to give it to your project more than you want to give it to your wife. Also a line from Mind and Magic. And it's not that you don't want to fuck your wife anymore, because you do, because I had a great time last night. But it's not that's all you want to do. But from the age from 12 to 16, whenever you were hitting puberty, maybe even 18, from that point on, that's all you could think about was women. You know, there's things you still like to do, but you also thought about how those things would get you women. And if there's women around you, did that thing extra good. Whether it's computer programming or playing fucking football. If there was a girl around, you upped your game and you were bragging and this and that. But Frater talks about, Xavier Mind and Magic talks about Mars energy, and you know, you get rid of too much Mars energy, you can't be creative and all of that. Now, Mr. Astrotheologically, fucking guys from Australia, and I can't think of his name. Astrology. I can't think of it. But anyways, he's on my YouTube. I'm going to try to look it up real fast here while I'm speaking to you. I'm running out of time. But he talks about this, the Christ oil. The Christ oil comes from your brain. Now, another reason why you need to know your astrology chart is because you need to know when the moon enters your sun sign. When that polarity shift happens, when the moon enters your sun sign, there is an oil release from, I want to say, the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland and the pineal gland are not the same. They are both in two different parts of your head. Okay? And there's not a direct connection. And if there is a direct connection, that oil doesn't flow through that connection. Okay? Now, everything I say may not be completely accurate, but please look this up after. It is super important for everything from having your third eye activated, decalcifying it, to all your special powers like telekinetic or being channeling and all that. Your third eye is in control of all that, okay? We have powers over it, but when the Christ oil, the chrism oil, is released from the pituitary gland, it travels down, you know, and basically down your spine, whatever, however it gets down there. It goes down to, I want to say, your root chakra, somewhere down to that gland, and starts traveling up. And right around that's probably the same day, third day around, you have, like I said, you have to look this up, because I should have fucking found the knowledge before I started taping this, but I didn't, unfortunately. But whenever it gets towards your sacral, around your nuts, or women around wherever the women are, sorry, I don't have that anatomy, so I'm not really well versed of where it gets there. It was really, is it coming from a guy? Santo Bonacci, I believe, or Santo Bonacci, Mr. Astrotheologian, I believe, is his name. So Santos is important, curly-haired, black-haired dude. He gets kind of cocky and mean because he's very vegan, doesn't believe in meat eating and stuff like that, but he's got a hell of a lot of good, fucking solid astrology, theology, shit, and he approaches the lies about the church, the lies about the money system and the banks and all that. But anyways, when the moon is in your sun sign, okay, that's whenever you should not have sex or release your Mars energy, okay? Now, it's typically 2-3 days a month. You have to get your chart, your date of birth, get your chart, and you'll see that. And then it'll tell you what days. Like in this month, for example, the beginning of June, the sun was in Taurus. And at the end of June, the sun is also in Taurus, because we just had May, and that also happened in May, I want to say. So, anyways, so when the moon, because there's only 28 days to the moon cycle, all right? People are like, well, how is that? How is that? How is that? Well, we're going around the sun, right? We're chasing the sun around, and the moon's chasing us around. So as we're orbiting the sun, when that moon comes around, like the back end of us, you know, if the front end of us is going around the sun, and the moon is behind us, well, it gets caught up a little bit behind, and it's got to have those 2 or 3 days to catch back, to get back up on the route to chasing us, kind of thing. I know it's hard to understand, but he'll also explain that a hell of a lot better than me. But And that's like void of course shit. You gotta watch what you're doing with your magic there. Freighter gets into that. So you don't have sex when the sun is in your moon, or when the moon is in your sun sign. So your sun sign, your ascendant. I want to say no, it's your sun sign. Sun sign. I'm a Taurus. I'm an ascendant Taurus. I'm a Mercury Taurus. My sun sign is Taurus. So when the moon is in the sun, I tell my wife that's my time of the month. I can't fuck. She doesn't like it, but it is what it is. And ever since I've been doing that, I'm telling you, my everything has increased. I stopped eating meat there a long time ago, mainly because of him, Santos Bonacci. The one time he said something about whenever you go to wherever we go to when we die, if they smell the blood, and I have this thing about blood. Blood is sacred. I don't believe it should be out of our arms to give to other people. I do commend people that can give blood to save lives. I'm not saying that's bad, but things about witchcraft and necromancy, being able to have something from somebody else and alter it and do stuff to it. If you have someone's hair or fingernails, you can fuck with them. Well, the medical community having my blood, giving it cancer and affecting the population, everybody who's giving blood, just something that happened in my head and it kind of freaks me out. But anyways, I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm not trying to start a conspiracy or anything like that. I just don't do that kind of thing. Now, when I'm dead and gone, give my organs, sure, I'm dead, I'm not using them anymore. That's fine. They're this mundane world and I'm going to go up. But all your psychic, everything that have to do with your third eye is going to get so much better that every month that passes that you don't have sex, you abstain from sex, you do a little bit of light fasting. If you do eat meat, just don't eat meat during this time or try not to. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I still eat eggs, which is the chickens, period. It's not baby chickens, it's the chickens, period. And it's still not nice what they do to those poor chickens. But it is what it is. I don't eat eggs as much. I eat a lot of cheese, though. But anyways, try to fast during that time. Drink lots of water. Do some meditation, some very breathing. Breathing is so important to help that Christ oil go back up. But once it comes back up, it bringing the oil from the pineal or from the pituitary gland, and it's adding it to the pineal gland. Like everything is gender, everything is polarity. It's so amazing, but it's taking like the male and adding it to the female. Like your sperm hitting that fucking egg. It's doing the same thing, and it's waking that shit up. The best way to fucking decalcify your pineal gland is probably this way, because you're adding life to it. It's getting the oil it needs. People think that the water in the tap is fucking it up and all this shit, and maybe it is. But the water in the tap, the fluoride, is a metal. Adding metal to something there is an electric. It's going to create a way they can It'd be more likely that the metal they're putting in there to calcify it would be more likely to fucking actually be able to see your thoughts or something like that, more than it is to fuck it up. But it could be. But I'm pretty sure it's just us, because anybody, when they die or they start losing their mind, their fucking pineal gland is super fucking small and all calcified and wrinkled to shit, and it's not thriving, and it's not a beautiful looking like an eye like it's supposed to, because this thing actually looks like a fucking eye inside our head. But anyways, look up decalcifying your pineal gland, but look up the Christ oil, chrism oil. It's basically the Christ oil. Look up Santo Bonacci and Mr. Astro. I'm sorry, I can't remember his YouTube channel, but Santos Bonacci will bring it up. He's got a lot of great shit on there. And yeah, abstain from sex during that time of the month, because I'm telling you, whatever your chart says you're good at, if it says you're going to be a powerful psychic and you haven't done it yet, well, you start doing this and holy fuck yeah. Because I'll lay down and I'll get visions and I won't know what they mean. I think it's just my subconscious talking to me. And then a couple of minutes later, she'll put on the TV, and the vision I had was the same TV show she puts on. And it's like, holy fuck. And that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Sometimes I can extract a message from it, but it's just like, man, that's fucking cool. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed this. Please check out that second part. Sync yourself up with nature, and nature will give back to you. And have a great fucking day. Peace.